Welcome, Wapham crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes, whoever may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a Rocky Mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, October 26th. Sunday, October 27th, for those of you across the pond and beyond, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. If you're listening to us live, you may be listening to us on eTalk Radio, which you can find at etalk.tv/radio, as well as KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com. If you want to watch as well as listen, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch under We Are Paradox Media. And in the meantime, on your free time, if you want to listen, you can listen basically wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you should be able to find us there. So generally on our last Sunday or Saturday of the month, we go and do the Paranormal Forum. But being that it's Halloween weekend, I figured let's do some ghost stories. Hey Adrian, what's up? I'm glad you could join us. And for those of you that don't know, on eTalk we're doing a, what is it called? A marathon. So Halloween marathon on eTalk there. All right. And also later on, if you guys have any ghost stories of your own, I'm going to put out a link for you to call in on. You can either be on video or not. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm hoping towards the end, we'll get some people in here with their ghost stories. And I think that would be pretty awesome. So let me just check on my sound really quick and make sure everything is going off without a hitch. It looks good except for my, the butt keeps connecting and disconnecting. I don't know what the issue is. Man, well that's sad. Hadrian. Oh, thank you. Celtic princess, I guess. Got my Celtic outfit. It's got like really cool sleeves and a skirt, but you can't really see it from here. Those just hang down. I thought they were like over the arms, so when you put your arms out, they flare out, but yeah, they don't. They just hang there. All right, let's look at some ghost stories. And I might actually get up and go check the router really quick and just make sure everything's off. I'm pretty sure it is. Man, oh man. Hold on. Uno momento, por favor. Why is everything looking so dull? I can barely even see any towers, but hopefully it goes through on eTalk. All right. This one is by Economist number 2159, Pascos while walking in cemetery. Hello, everyone. This happened when I was living in New Hampshire. My job at the time was very stressful, so to relax, I used to go walking in Mount Calvary Cemetery in Lebanon. To give you a sense of the cemetery, to get to it, you have to turn off the main road onto the cemetery road, which winds and up a hill for a bit, and then you come into the cemetery, which is at the top of a very large hill. It was in October, and the foliage was very bright and vibrant. I was enjoying the foliage and the peace and quiet. The path I was walking on is nothing more than a dirt road around the cemetery in the shape of a big circle. I had been there for a while when I came around the corner. Onto one of the straight areas on the road, I noticed someone walking towards me. I was thinking I did not hear a car come up the hill, so I looked for a car. Nothing. This person was coming from the side of the cemetery, where they would have basically had to climb the steep end of the hill to get there. Did not really think anything of it, so kept walking towards this person. As I got closer, I noticed it was an older man with very white hair. He was dressed very well with khaki pants, a blue button-down shirt, glasses, and really nice tennis shoes. Hold on, it just skipped up on me. And a red ball cap. As I passed him, I said hello, and he said hello back, but never looked at me and kept walking. It was at this point that I realized that I did not hear the gravel making noise as he came by me. This was maybe 5 to 10 seconds where he passed me, was on a corner on the path, so I immediately turned around to see if he was still there. Nothing, he just wasn't there anymore. I immediately went looking for him. The cemetery is very open, so you can see people from a long ways out. I looked for an hour for him. That's a long time. Yeah, I don't think I'd be looking for someone for an hour. Hi, Sandra. Thank you. I'm a Celtic princess. Yeah, Lily's like, I've never seen you dress up so pretty for the show. And I'm like, well, if I dressed up for Halloween next weekend, that'd be kind of weird, right? But let's see. Okay, so she looked for an hour, nothing. He looked so solid, just like another person out for a walk, enjoying the peace and quiet. I was in this cemetery a lot and never saw him again. I hope he is at peace. Very nice. Okay, I always like to look at the comments. There was just one, and it said, very nice story. I think my dog's ghost is haunting me. This one is by Smart for a Rat. I think my dog's ghost is haunting me. I'm going to try to give as much context as I can on these two really strange events. On July 2nd, my dog died. I loved her dearly, and she meant the world to me. She was abnormally intelligent for a dog. Smartest one I'd ever had or even heard of. Her ability to pick up and learn things, to communicate with me, and so on was just phenomenal. My wife, knowing I was heartbroken, got me a puppy the same day. That's not a good idea. Not something I recommend, not something I wanted, but she knew how much my dog meant to me and wanted to give me something else to hold and latch onto, I guess. First encounter. About a month later, I was sitting in my study at my computer with my new puppy sleeping in my lap when I get a text from my wife. She said, "Come get your puppy." I was confused what she meant, and I picked up my puppy and went in the bedroom where she was. She was taking a nap, and all of our other dogs were asleep on the bed with her. The only one not present was my puppy, which I had with me. I told her I had the puppy with me the entire time. It had been asleep in my lap for the past hour, and he didn't know how to use the doggy doors yet anyway. She looked unsettled by this and told me that she was woken up by the doggy door that leads to the outside. Flapped open, and something came in and barked a couple of times, then left. All our dogs were with her on the bed except my puppy, so she assumed that it was him, but I had him with me the whole time. I suggested that maybe she was dreaming it, since she was asleep and just woke up, as it happened, but she insists the other dogs woke up too, and were all looking at the doggy door. I then thought maybe it was some other dog. Two of the dogs we have are strays that people just dumped on the side of the road near our home, so the idea of some random dog wandering up in our yard is not unheard of. So I went outside and thoroughly searched the property. The property is fenced, but it is possible, with enough determination, to squeeze under it, and we've had the occasional turtle get in the fence because of this, as well as stray cats and even a dog once, but they never seem to find their way out and get stuck inside. Anyway, I figured if anything was out there, I would have found it, but I didn't. There was nothing. I even looked at the spots in the fence that can be pushed under, and there was no sign that something had pushed under there. None of the dirt was disturbed. I kind of shrugged it off and concluded she must have dreamed it and kind of wrote it off in my mind. Encounter 2. About a week ago, I was again sitting in my study at my computer. Again. This time I had 2 dogs in my lap. Jeez, he must really like dogs. One of our stray dogs is really obsessed. Jeez, oh Pete. Hold on. My dog's complaining in the backyard. It's just like, whoa, let me in. One of our stray dogs is really obsessed with the other one, and she follows him around everywhere he goes and wants to sleep beside him all the time. I had him in my lap with my puppy, but not her. And in those situations where he is with me and she isn't, it's not unusual for her to come through the various doggy doors in the room. Good Lord. I don't know why this keeps jumping up like that. All right, where the heck is it? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, through the various doggy doors in the room to find him so she can go lay beside him and sleep. So anyway, on this particular night, I heard the doggy door flap open and something walking across its threshold. I can't actually see where it is from where I'm sitting because of the angle of my chair, but I just assumed it was the female stray looking for the male stray, which happens often. And while I was looking, I was listening because I was waiting for the doggy door that leads to the outside to flap open as she leaves. But I didn't hear any of the telltale footsteps of claws tapping on the floor, and I never heard either doggy door open again. So I called for her and got no response. Now let's turn this down a bit. Then I get out of my chair and looked around, and she wasn't in the room. Again, I just assumed maybe she didn't come in after all, and just poked her head through the flap to look around and smell to see if the other stray was in there. This also wouldn't be unusual for her. So assuming that I went out of the room to go look for her, now just to give some context, our house has 2 doggy doors that lead into the outside yard, but the only interior doggy doors we have are in the study where I was. Both of these are smaller than the exterior ones, and I got them specifically for my dog that had died. They were much smaller than the exterior ones, and the point was so that she could have free rein to go wherever she wanted, whenever she wanted, but no one else could. The female stray was the only other dog small enough to use those doggy doors. What this means is, if she had been in the greater part of the house, she would be trapped there because the only way to leave would be to go through the study, then through the exterior doggy door to the yard, then through the exterior doggy door in our bedroom. So I searched the house, and again, nothing, no dog. Thank you. Because the 2 interior doggy doors are of a different design than the exterior one, they have distinctly different sounds that they make when they open and slam closed. I heard that door open and close just 3 feet away from me when there was no dog there and no dog that could have been there. My wife heard that exterior doggy door in the bedroom open and close just a few feet from here when there was no doggy there and no dog that could have been there. We even heard it bark. She said the bark sounded like a small dog. She thought it was the puppy. But my girl that died had a bark that sounded the same way. I'm at a loss for what to think. I don't usually jump to suspicion of ghosts, especially for animals, but I don't know how to explain these 2 strange occurrences. We've lived in this house for 12 years and nothing like this has ever happened. And within a few months of my girl's death, we had two strange, unexplainable encounters. If my event in my study never happened, I would have just kept on assuming my wife dreamed the first one. But she was insistent that it wasn't a dream, and now that I had my own encounter, I believe she's right. There's literally no way that dog door could have opened in my study on its own. Something had to push it open, but all the dogs were accounted for. 2 in my lap, the rest in the bedroom. No dog or anything else in the house. I don't know what to think about this. I keep trying to find some logical explanation for it, but I'm not coming up with one. And again, anything weird like the air conditioner kicking on and having a suction start in the house or anything like that can't possibly have caused it because, again, we've lived here for 12 years and it has never done that before or since. I'm at a loss for what it could be, if not her ghost. I do not know what to tell you. Alright, let me just fix the sound here real quick. Thanks for joining us. Also, in the comments, you can let me know, what are you going to be for Halloween? People might think I'm too old to dress up for Halloween, but I don't think I'm ever going to be too old for that. It's too much fun. Alright. Spiritual Encounter. This one is by savings_concert_970. I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. to a sound which sounded like one of the dogs crying. I'm 100% sure I knew which dog it was because it's 2 years old and still sounds like a puppy, so it's different from the rest. The crying was not distant at all, and it sounded like it was right outside my door. I turned the lights on in my room, then the whole upstairs of my house. I quickly started opening doors and looking for the dog. After searching upstairs, I went downstairs. She was nowhere to be seen downstairs, and only my bigger dog and my older dog were in a room together, door closed, because Mom wasn't home. I called my mom and asked her where the third dog is. She said it was with her. I told her about the sounds I've been hearing, and she said it must have been one of the other dogs. I told her that I 100% knew the difference between the dog's barks and cries, and she thought I'm silly. I'm wondering what I've encountered because I believe it was something that really wanted to lure me out. I also want to add that before I called my mom, I thought something fell on the dog somewhere in the rooms because of the sound it was making. But no, that dog wasn't even home. I'm writing this 20 minutes later and am unsure of what I've encountered. I do not know what to tell you. Looks like a doggy to me. Alright. Bedroom Shenanigans. This is by M. Caterham. Thank you, brother. I'm a Celtic princess. I love you too. I hope you're doing good. I have an attachment that's followed me for almost a decade or longer. He's always near when I think of or speak of him, and I see him zigzag through my floor. Funny thing is, so do my cats. I saw the one that's a year old, Kitty, watch them many times, zigzag just as my eyes followed. They know my kitten will cry to get out and then cry to get in. I know he does shit to him. The kids have heard a woman's voice, and so have I. I also saw a red-eyed cat here. I brought him here, and no, I did. My life is balanced on the head of a pin. If you only knew what has happened here with this shit and elsewhere, well, why don't you let us know? Let us know. Alright. Was she saying goodbye? This is by Blue Bayou Banshee. Thanks, Anthony. Miss you, brother. This experience happened in November 1995. On Thanksgiving Day, my godmother was rushed to the emergency room because she was not feeling well. Once at the hospital, things went downhill fast and she was admitted into ICU and put on life support to help her breathe because she was having trouble breathing on her own. Well, my mother and I stayed with her until late that evening. Sorry, it did that crazy skip thing again. No! And decided to go home and get some rest so we could be back by her side in the morning. Once we were home, I decided to sleep in my mother's room in case the hospital called with news. At around 2 a.m., I woke up to my dog growling his low growl, so I nudged him, thinking he was growling in his sleep. A few minutes later, he started again, but this time he was sitting up on the edge of the bed, staring into the living room. Well, my dog got louder and louder until he woke up my mom. We both got up and saw nothing. Calmed my dog down and went back to bed. Maybe 10 minutes later, I could hear footsteps in the living room, but not normal footsteps. These sounded like they walked by dragging one foot behind them. Both my mother and I are sitting up in bed looking into the living room, hearing the footsteps but seeing nothing. As I was getting out of the bed, I heard a noise, the sound of someone dropping something on the table, but still I saw nothing, and the dog was going crazy at this point. When I went to turn on the light, the phone rang. It was the hospital informing us that my godmother, aka Mom's sister, had just had a stroke and was in a coma. The news was heartbreaking, and when my mom hung up the phone, we headed to the hospital. It was about 30 minutes to drive to the hospital, and neither one of us spoke a word. My mind was on my godmother and what just happened at home right before the phone rang. Once we arrived at the hospital, we got out of the car, and there was the strongest smell of roses in the air with no roses to be found. We both smelled those roses all the way to my godmother's room in ICU. Do you guys know what that means? It's usually not a good sign. Then the smell faded away once we entered her room. The doctor came in and informed us that the test revealed that the stroke caused major swelling in the brain, and because of that, she had damage to her brainstem and was brain dead. The next day, she was removed from life support and passed away. Now, I can't explain what happened in those early morning hours. Some say she was saying goodbye, and others just don't know. What do you think? I think it was her saying goodbye. Oh no. The Girl from the Gap? This is by Ntguan, Ntguan. Oops. Oh, I just lost my earbud. Alrighty. Good thing for my hairnet. In the heart of Tokyo, a young man named Hiro lived in an old creaky apartment. The building was filled with countless gaps and cracks, where shadows seemed to play tricks on the eyes. Hiro had heard whispers about the girl from the gap, a sinister spirit who lived between the furniture, doors, and drawers. One night, as Hiro was tidying his room, he noticed a pair of eyes peering at him from the gap between his wardrobe and the wall. His blood ran cold. The eyes were dark and unblinking, filled with a haunting intensity. "Do you want to play hide and seek?" a soft, eerie voice asked. The girl from the gap had found him. Fear gripped Hiro, but he knew the legends well. If he saw her a second time, she would drag him to another dimension or worse, to hell. With his heart pounding, he tried to keep his composure. Sure, let's play," he said, his voice steady. He knew he had to outsmart her to survive. Hiro began to search his apartment, deliberately avoiding the places where he had noticed gaps. Okay. He knew that her rules were strict. If he found her again, it would be the end. As they moved from room to room, he made sure to keep his gaze above the cracks and corners where she might be hiding. Hours passed and the tension grew unbearable. Every creak and shadow seemed to whisper her presence, but Hero was determined. He strategically covered the gaps with towels, books, and anything he could find to block her hiding spots. In the dim light of dawn, Hero finally felt a sense of relief. He had managed to avoid her gaze all night, but just as he thought he was safe, he heard the soft click of a door behind him. Turning slowly, Hero saw her eyes again, this time in the gap of the partially open door. That's cheating. The second encounter, panic surged through him, but he quickly devised a plan. "Wait," he said, his voice filled with a mix of fear and resolve. "If you take me now, the game will be over. Let's make it more interesting. What if you hide in someone else's home and I find you there? If I win, you leave me alone forever." The girl from the gap seemed to consider his proposal. Her eyes blinked slowly, and then she disappeared into the shadows. Hero had bought himself some time, but he knew that he had to act quickly. He immediately sealed the gap around the door and covered every remaining crack in his apartment. From that day on, Hero lived cautiously, making sure to avoid any place where gaps could reveal those haunting eyes again. He had cleverly negotiated his survival, but the memory of the girl from the gap remained, a chilling reminder of the night he outwitted a vengeful spirit. So when I first read the title of that, I thought they meant like the Gap store. But now I know otherwise. Oh no, somebody's asking about Ouija boards. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Weird noise and light turned on. This is by Blame It On The Edit 7000. Last night I was sleeping in our room with the dogs and my boyfriend was in the next room and he said he heard an extremely loud noise, like the television was on, but it wasn't. And he came running in and the dogs and I were asleep, but woke up when he came in. He told me about the noise and I couldn't recall hearing anything of the sort, but we noticed that the closet door was open and the light was on. The door was closed when I went to sleep and he said he hadn't turned the light on or opened the door. There's no way into the bedroom, only a window, bathroom, and the closet. I've been experiencing strange dreams lately, but not much else unusual. Could this have been? Does anyone have any insight? Summary: woke up after boyfriend hears noise in bedroom and light on in closet with no reason for either. Well, that's kind of creepy, but not too bad. Okay, A Bridge to the Other Side. This is by Trail of Hope. Sorry, this story is a bit long. A few years back, I went to a medium who speaks to those who have passed over. During my session with him, he informed me that my grandfather was there. He even gave me my grandfather's name. He told me that my grandfather wanted me to go to bingo and that he would make it worth my while. I used to go to bingo years ago, but had not in many years. He told me that my grandfather would give me the filling when it was time to go. So, that time arrived. I was washing dishes after supper one early evening, and there was a commercial on our local radio station about a bingo in my hometown about an hour away that was going to be quite the event. I brought it up to my husband and said, "Let's go to my parents and you can hang out with the boys." they were little guys at this time, and you can visit with my parents, so off we went. I went to that bingo and I won $200. On my arrival back into my parents' house, I announced that I won. Everyone was excited, but of course wanted to see the money. Before I went to show them the money, I had an unbelievable feeling of freezing. I asked everyone if they felt that cold breeze that just went through. Everyone was talking to each other. No one seemed to have heard me. I said it again, and everyone kept talking. I just lost you guys. What the heck is happening? There we go. I felt a little weird and asked the third time and said it quite loud. Again, no response from anyone. My parents, my husband, and my two boys were all talking amongst themselves, as if I wasn't even there. While the whole time I was feeling this freezing breeze all around me. At the fourth time, as I'm trying to get everyone's attention, I'm no longer cold and everyone now is looking at me. I asked them if anyone was hearing me talk and if they felt the freezing breeze go through, and no one heard me talk or felt a cold breeze. I was a bit weirded out, but continued to reach into my front pocket of my pants and take out the folded $200 bill, all in $20 bills. So $200 in $20 bills. As I unfolded the money, smack dab in the middle of the folded money was a bridge of a fiddle. This money was counted out to me by the bingo attendant, and I also counted it out before I placed it into my pocket. There 100% was absolutely no bridge of a fiddle anywhere near that money. I could not explain to you how shocked I was to try and figure out how that bridge of a fiddle got into my pocket, let alone in between $10, $20 bills. Now to get a bit more freaky here, my grandfather was a well-known fiddle player in my hometown with the locals when he was alive. My father had his father's, the same grandfather, 2 fiddles in safekeeping, and we were always warned as young kids to never touch the fiddles, and my boys were always warned to never touch the fiddles. My father was always scared they were going to get broken. As I was in shock looking at this bridge, I kept asking everyone in the room if they put this in my pocket somehow, knowing in my head that there was no way I wouldn't feel someone's hand go into my pocket to place this there. And of course, everyone was telling me, no, they didn't put it in my pocket. My father was very concerned at this moment and told us all to follow him to his bedroom. He took the 2 fiddles out of their safe place, opened them up, and lo and behold, one of the 2 fiddles was missing a bridge. I cannot explain this story. The only thing I can say is that my grandfather would have had something to do with it, if he could. I do believe that during the few seconds, moments, and all that I felt the freezing breeze, could it then have been when the bridge was placed in my pocket? I think that's conceivable, don't you? So Mia just got a hold of me. Let me just message her really quick. Where did it go? Oh, there she is. Sorry, guys. Like I said, we usually do the form. Alright. Now I feel bad. I was like, I didn't want to contact you last minute. I mean, I've been so busy with work and building this damn chicken coop. I'm so sore from that too. I got some free shingles the other day. That was actually yesterday. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This one is by Tutette. Tutete. Tutette. Sounds French to me. I have a mysterious guest that won't leave. Please read everything. I'm a 22-year-old male yuppie investment banker from London, and I'm currently living with my parents and I'm trying to purchase an apartment for myself. I was scrolling online looking for apartments and I soon come across this lavish apartment for only £285 a month. Desperate for a place of my own, I decided to check it out because it was the cheapest. Usually there's something to that. I was being shown around the apartment by the estate agent, who was Indian, and the apartment had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, open floor plans, high ceilings, molding, and direct lighting, large windows, and skylights. It was perfect. The only con about the apartment is that one of the bedrooms has a hole in the window, but the estate agent promised me she'll have it fixed. The estate agent also tells me that she has decided not to rent the apartment to relatives because the landlord kept having issues with relatives, noting the annoying way in which they came and went. I asked her if the apartment is really £285 a month, or is this a troll? And she says it's true, and that the apartment building is rent controlled. I was honestly shocked for words. I never thought I'd have my own place, especially an apartment. Sorry guys, I did that skip thing again. Man. So the apartment building is rent controlled. I was honestly shocked for words. I never thought I'd have my own place, especially an apartment that is as luxurious and comfortable as this. I decided to take the deal and moved in and showed my girlfriend my new home later that day. Later that night, after my girlfriend left, I was fast asleep until I woke up to some footsteps. I got out of bed to see who else was in the apartment, and there, standing in front of me, was a skinny Indian man who goes by the name Ram. I asked him, or is it Ram? It's spelled Ram, but it could be Ram. Ram, I don't know. I asked him what he was doing in my apartment, and he claims that he lives here as well. I thought he was homeless, so I decided to let him sleep just for the night. The next morning, I was asking Ram who he was and if he had a lease, and he says he doesn't have a lease. He also told me that he doesn't really know how he got from India to the apartment, and says that he used to live with his family in a small room until it got crowded and ended up living on the sidewalk and eventually in the gutter. He says that he thinks his soul was sucked out of India because it was overpopulated. I asked him to leave as he does not have a lease and that there are shelters that he can go to, but Ram refuses as he likes it here. Later that day, I called the estate agent to come over and investigate the situation, but when we got back to the apartment, Ram was nowhere to be found. The realtor tells me that it takes a long time to get Ram evicted from England, and since Ram is no longer in the apartment, suppose that he left to go to a shelter. However, when I got back from work later that night, I was surprised to see him back in my apartment, cleaning and hanging my clothes. I asked what he was still doing at my place, and he just responded that he lives here. It's been 3 days, and I've noticed that every time my girlfriend or friends come over to the apartment, he disappears, and he's nowhere to be found. And when they leave, he reappears, acting like nothing happened. I told my girlfriend about this, but she thinks I'm crazy. For some reason, I just can't find myself to throw him out, no matter what I do. I don't know, that'd be creepy. Who's jumping in my bed? This is by Blue Bayou Banshee. They sure do have a lot of ghost stories. This experience happened in September 2011. One day, I was sitting in my living room, just watching television, and I felt small shakes. I stopped for a minute and thought it could have been anything. Then I noticed they got a little more harder and kind of like a rhythm. It clicked. My daughter is jumping in my bed. So I walked down the hall to my room to tell her to stop. When I remembered, she wasn't home. She was still at school. I opened the door and saw nothing. I went back to the living room, and a few minutes later, same thing. I walked again to check and still nothing. But this time I noticed my bed was messed up, like someone was jumping in it. This didn't scare me at all. It actually brought a smile to my face. It happened on and off until my daughter got home from school. For a few days after it would happen, I told a friend about it, and he didn't believe me until he was there when it happened. I told him, "I told you so." And he laughed and said, "Well, at least whoever it is having fun." That's true, right? Days later, I had a friend over that had a recorder, and he took some EVPs. When we listened on playback, you could clearly hear a young girl giggling. I never found out who she was or anything, but she made her presence known. She liked to play hide and seek with some of my things and liked to run up and down the halls. But as quickly as she came, she left. She brought a peace in the house, though, and I think she enjoyed our company. I just hope she found whatever she was looking for. It's always confusing when it's like a child ghost, and then people always revert back to, "It's a demon! You need to do an exorcism." Ghost in Buffalo, New York. Okay, so this is by Constant-Candidate 76. Ghost in Buffalo, New York Highway. What? Last year, I was driving back to Toronto with my boss after filming a documentary for a week in a different state. My boss was driving and I was in the passenger seat. It had already been a long trip and it was approaching 3 a.m. We were in Buffalo when my boss decided to leave the highway to find somewhere to park and quickly do something on his laptop. We ended up in what looked like an abandoned town. No lights, old deserted houses, and not a single soul in sight. His laptop was in the trunk, so he got out of the car to retrieve it. As he was about to get back in the car, a vehicle suddenly pulled up in front of us, and a woman stepped out. She was a black woman, probably in her 20s or 30s. She started talking to my boss. Woman: "What laptop is that?" Boss: It's an Apple." Woman: "Ah, used to have one like that." Boss: "Yeah, they're really good. They get the job done. Have a good night." Weirdo. He didn't say the weirdo part. The first interaction got me the thrills, as it is beyond creepy to interact with people in the deserted town at 3 a.m. My boss got back into the car, shut the door, and opened his laptop, browsing for something. I think he was trying to send a playlist to his phone or something like that. Barely a minute after their initial conversation, we heard a knock on the window. Uh-oh, she's back. "Hey, Jace, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We're just reading ghost stories for Halloween." I wonder if it's that lady again. I don't know. That'd be pretty odd and, what is the word? Uncomfortable? That's not the word, but it's the gist of it. It was the woman again, knocking on the car window. My boss, who's an incredibly kind person and does a lot of social justice work, opened the window with a big smile. Likely out of a sense of not wanting to seem dismissive or condescending, or maybe just his white guilt. I don't know. Boss: "Hi. Help." "Oh, yes? What's going on?" The woman suddenly started pouring her heart out. Woman: "I had a fight with my mom. She never really liked me. I think she hates me. She's hated me since the day I was born. My boss, clearly a bit anxious but still trying to help, asked her if she had any other support in her life. Friends, family, anyone she could turn to. Woman, I had a boyfriend. She started sounding extremely desperate. I don't know. We fought and I tried to kill him, and I don't know if he's the one who's dead or if I'm dead. At that point, fear crept over me. I was too scared to move. My boss, while clearly growing more anxious, continued talking to her in his usual kind of manner, even though all I wanted was for him to shut the window and drive away as fast as possible. Oh, I'm sorry you're going through this, but we gotta go. It's pretty late. Can I come with you? No, I don't think so. Our back seat is full. It actually was, thank God, filled with heavy film equipment. The woman paused for a moment, then said something that sent chills down my spine. Woman, all my life, I've suffered so much because of men. Men have destroyed me, and you are men. I just want you to sacrifice something for me. I was frozen with fear. My boss, I could tell, he was also scared, was still trying to maintain his calm, so he replied politely, I'm sorry, we're really tired. We just want to go home. The woman took a couple steps toward her car. I didn't even see her getting on her or something. I was too scared to look. What? Without wasting another second, my boss started the engine and drove off. We didn't speak for the next 10 minutes. The tension in the car was palpable, and I could still feel the weight of what had just happened. Finally, I worked up the courage to ask him if everything I heard was the same as things he heard. Everything was accurate. Well, that's just plain dismal. Good thing she went away and didn't just jump through and suck their soul out or something. This one is by Informal Grocery 3526. Ghost Bus Story. I saw something I cannot explain. When I was 10 years old, I saw something that to this day, 6 years later, I cannot still understand at all. Me and my friends were outside playing, enjoying our time. And for some context, the area I live in has one-way access, meaning the way you come in is the way you have to go out when you want to leave. And on this random day with my friends Nate and Donnie, we saw an old school completely white double-decker bus drive past the road we were walking on, and we just stood still in utter confusion because the way this bus came into our area was impossible. It physically couldn't drive into the area without driving through the entrance first, and it definitely did not do this. Inside of this bus, there were two people, a male driver dressed as if he was in the 1920s. He was strangely completely white, a pale skin, snow-colored hair, with all white clothes, but he wasn't the most interesting person on this bus. There was a woman extremely similar to him in that she was completely all white too, but she was a passenger and she was acknowledging us, waving at us. I was completely dumbfounded. I just stood there in awe. I know it doesn't sound like it was that much of a spectacle, but I can't explain this bus had an aura that was completely captivating. These people on the bus did not seem threatening at all. They seemed benevolent and had a feeling of warmth about them. This whole situation must have lasted maybe 5 seconds at the most. It was a lot to take in such a short amount of time, and out of nowhere as the bus went past us, it just suddenly disappeared. I can't explain it. It didn't fade away. It just disappeared. I hadn't told anyone this story until I recently told my mother. And unlike me, she is very much a believer in the supernatural. And she told me that around the same time, she had a dream about her late mother that died the month before I was born, saying to her, I have to go. I have to catch a bus. I have to catch. I know it's a far-fetched theory to assume it was my grandmother, and I don't even know if I believe it in all honesty, but all I do know is that I definitely saw something that day. And whatever it wasn't normal, as we know, normal. Does anyone with more knowledge on these supernatural things have any theories on what me and my friends saw that day? I don't know, like, is she trying to get a message through, and why would she show up on a bus in the middle of nowhere? I'm perplexed. I'm not sure. Alright, well, let's see how long this next story is. We can get through this, and then we should go to our first music break. I almost said next, but we haven't had one yet. I was jamming out before I got on here, so I have Let the Bodies Hit the Floor stuck in my head. This is by Technical Dirt 241. Imaginary Friend. This is a story from years ago and happened to me when I was around 5 or 6. I'm in my 40s now. I don't remember any of it, and it's a story my mom has told me many times over the years. As a kid, my mom would be the one to take me up to bed at bedtime to read me a story and tuck me in. That's until I started waving to a lady in the corner of the room. My mom was really freaked out by this and eventually asked me what I was waving at. And when I told her, she wouldn't tuck me in after that and got my dad to do it. She said I stopped after a bit and things went back to normal. So what do you think? I wish I remembered imaginary friends or something else. So I'm thinking, like, if it was an imaginary friend, why would she get so scared and quit tucking her kid in reading ghost stories? I think perhaps she had an experience there. And how long had they lived in that house? Like, I need more information before I can give you more information. You, i.e. the person that wrote this. Yeah. So we are going to go to our first music break since this next story is quite long. And I do believe we're going to have Miss Mia Savage on, so I'm not sure if we're going to continue on with ghost stories and like go back and forth, or what exactly will be happening. But on this music break, we have Mr. Jeff Hilliard with Finger Bang Your Day, Consensual Sex Van, Multitude, Silicone Wave, and Abandon. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
When your life is a never-ending train wreck, and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of regret, with a bit of oppression pressing down on your neck, it hurts so bad. When your overwhelming hatred kills your heart's desire, and reality starts looking like a dumpster fire, you start bitching to me, but you're preaching to the choir. You don't need to be so mad. 'Cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world goes completely insane, open your heart, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, I'll finger bang my day. That's right. You gotta make the choice to give it all you've got, and make your day long with pleasure, really make it hot. Because your day deserves a lover that pulls out the stops. Come on, it's not so hard. 'Cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world blows up in our face, what else could we do but stand up and sing? I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah.
We can't live in a world that has this much hate. We have to get honest with ourselves. We have to take stock in what our part is in all of this madness. We have to let go, and we focus on giving love, setting that intention. And each and every single one of us gets up every day with the intention to give love. And we do it. We go out there and we give love every single day. Each one of us gets out there and makes love to our day, giving our day a multiple orgasm. The whole world will be orgasmic for the rest of eternity. Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we should. There's no reason to try when the whole world is fucking insane. We open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Let's open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah. Finger bang my day. Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Let me take you far away from all this huff and puff. There will be nothing in between our love, like a pair of doves flying high above, where nothing can touch us, touching softly. Don't let me go, I won't let you go. This is eternity with me, baby. Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? You don't have to be alone. Come with me. Magic, healthy laughter, boundaries, safe space, ongoing mutual consent, passion, happily we'll be bearing our souls, naked by the sea. We'll breathe the clean air. We'll be living, laughing, loving forever. Baby, do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? You don't have to be alone anymore. We will be together forever in love. Do you wanna go for a ride? Do you wanna go in my consensual? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Just get in the van.
Drip, 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 drip,
I got molar moves, got that molar too. You think it's wrong? I could've had too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it.
All these hookers sweet on me. Look at them chasing me, showing me that ass. And I bagged up to snatch. I do this shit for free. Go down your mama till 3. She's taking selfies with the mullet like it's history. How can I maneuver you with that pussy, dude? You sit like Buddha waiting on it to come to you. My lines are straight to the point. She shows me gratitude. So what's your latitude? Let's suggest your attitude. Hit up with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that.
Hit up with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it.
Alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini. You're like the butt of a butter knife cutting up panini. So climb back in your kangaroo pouch like a rolling genie. These moves are hot, these locks I got. This power cannot be disputed and it can't be bought. So you can find me in the studio with all these thoughts. You wanna bite my style, but you can't be what you're not, neighbor.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. Got that motherfucking ballin'. You wanna touch it?
Yeah. Next time you come around here with your bitch ass, just remember how my mullet makes your hose pussy drip, drip, drip.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can get no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it.
Drip, drip,
Molar moves.
just a mullet, bitch. Drip, drip.
Molar moves. Never gonna cut it.
I just got a package, I can't wait to get home. I spent all day tracking the shipment on my phone, all that she was lacking. I ordered custom, I can't wait to get some. Take it to the bedroom, bitches always nagging. Now I got the air, I send the bitches packing, going my way. I have a new attraction, don't care what you say, it's better in every way. Now baby, it's time to play, we're gonna make us a tape and show everyone the way, cause I'm going my way, riding up the Silicon Valley. The whole scene on the game with my new real dog. I'm gonna play. Just second grade to Mount Silicon Valley. She is here to stay. She's my new real dog, and it's time to play. She don't need expensive date nights. Never talks back, I'm always right. Stuff it in her face with all my might. She don't even care, we don't ever fight. She never cries when I'm testing the suspension. We blow it up like it's fucking Armageddon. We make the videos because this is perfection. Look at this erection. I don't need protection, cause I'm going my way, riding up the Silicon Valley. The whole scene on the game with my new real dog. I'm gonna play. Just second grade to Mount Silicon Valley. She is here to stay. She's my new real dog, and it's time to play.
moi.
Je suis amoureux.
Je pense toujours à
Enchanté,
tous les champs,
ma chérie. Mange potatoes nasty. Easy touchy a little nipple.
tous les champs. C'est moi.
It's like living on a super yacht, making love to a robot. It's like owning a football team, but having sex with a robot. It's like winning an Oscar and Emmy or Grammy when you're fucking a robot. It's like saving a family with a newborn from a fire, but you're fucking a robot.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. First hour, we were doing Reddit ghost stories. I was thinking about doing some Reddit Halloween stories too, but Miss Mia Savage has called in. Like I said, generally we do the Paradox Paranormal Forum, and heck yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So, welcome, Mia. Thanks so much for calling and coming to hang out.
Hey! I am a
Here, let me fix
coworker over here at work.
Awesome.
This is Jessica. She's the night nurse here, and we talked about crazy things. We were just talking about a lot of crazy things. I'm like, you would love this podcast, and we were talking about Egyptian gods and reincarnation and prison planets, and I was like, yeah, we got to call in. I got to bring you with me. So
I'm excited. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast. And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Jessica.
Jessica. Okay, so were you on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. I'm so glad you called in. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
you look beautiful.
I was just thinking that.
You look like a goddess.
Thank you. I'm a Celtic princess.
Nice.
Tomorrow night I'll be a witch or something.
We were just talking about witches.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny with the Egyptian thing. I don't know. I've always been interested by it, and then when I did my genealogy as far as like 23andMe, and it came back Coptic Egyptian, I was like, what?
Cool.
That makes sense as far as my second toe goes. No, so you guys go on with what you guys were talking about and stuff. I'm intrigued.
That's so neat. All right, we're getting like a delay on it. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I gotta go through.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, she's listening. But what we were talking about is we're talking about a lot, but just like how I did a Oh, you should say about your grandma. Okay. Hold on. You got.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So, my dad was adopted, and we just found his birth mom a couple years ago through Ancestry.com, and she's literally just like me. It's awesome, but the bigger part of the story is that she passed away last year, and I did the questioning to her, like, okay, is it heaven, is it reincarnation, or is nothing happening? Wherever you're at, I would like this answered. I said, give me this symbol for this answer, this symbol for that answer. And I kid you not, within like 8 hours, the answer came back as reincarnation. So I thought that was super cool.
Definitely. Well, I'm sorry you guys, so when you found her, she had already passed, correct?
No, she was, I got to meet her a couple times within the last couple years,
Okay.
but she passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you got to meet her, though. That's super awesome.
I know, it was awesome, and she's super great, and she was like a Wiccan priestess. She was just totally on her own path, not at all like typical older lady. And I'm like, oh, no wonder I have all these kind of different thoughts that are not typical or the norm.
Definitely. So what did she say about reincarnation? Did she give you any ideas like how she's going to come back or what she thought about it?
That's such a great question. I actually never tried to ask. I just kind of left it at that. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to learn more about what the train of thought has been, because I didn't really know much before that. And so now I'm kind of on this adventure to learn more about it. But that's a great question. Maybe I'll have to put that out.
Yeah. I don't know, I've heard so many cool stories, and sometimes it's sad, especially when it's a kid that passes or someone you're attached to, but a person passing, and then on the same day or maybe the same date on a different year or something, somebody else comes back as that person. I don't know, it's very intriguing to me, and I'd heard about reincarnation, but never really believed in it till I met my mentor, and she was telling me about how her and her daughter had both been through several life cycles together. And then my youngest daughter, she's now 9. When she was 1.5, was tying a lanyard around her leg, and I was like, "Sissy, don't do that, because you're going to get the tinglies, the pinpricks on your legs, and you're not going to like it." And she's like, "Mama, I got to tie it off, or I'm going to bleed out." Like, what 1.5-year-old says that?
That's so
And
cool.
then,
That's crazy.
yeah, and then she's like, I used to be a man, and I was really tall, and she had blonde curly hair, and she wore glasses, and was a nurse. So I'm assuming, like, perhaps was a nurse, like, in the military or something, and maybe they got shot in the thigh, and so that's how they died, perhaps. Yeah, just from what she was telling me, like, that's all I could figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that blew me away.
That is so interesting. I love hearing about all these stories. Okay, I'm gonna give you back to Mia. I gotta do some work. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. It was nice to meet you, Jessica.
You too. I'll tune in some more. I promise.
I had
All
to
right,
bring her
come
on.
back if you can.
I'm still technically at work, but I'm in my last hour, so
Yeah.
if it's a little loud, I
Nice.
apologize.
I'm so glad you reached out to me. Oh no, I don't really hear anything background music, so that keeps a lot of stuff out. Yeah, I saw her come through on YouTube, and then I was so glad that you messaged me and was like, "Hey, what's going on? Are we doing the forum tonight?" And I was like, "Man, I just felt so guilty because I hate last minute like getting hold of you, like, are you gonna come on?" So
Well,
I just
yeah,
left you
and
alone.
I hate that I've been late or not on. It's just that I just so happen to work a 12-hour shift on Saturdays, most Saturdays. So, from 8 to 8. So but that's why I'm like, okay, it's quiet right now. I can probably call on, and since I'm already having this conversation, may as well.
Right?
So how have you been?
Super cool. Pretty good. Just been working and building a chicken coop. So I bought a bunch of wood, and I've been building a chicken coop by myself. Vern said he was going to help, but he really
handy of you. I love that.
Yeah, like I bought those two from Tractor Supply, but they're just like, they look pretty and they're good for the summer. I don't want my chickens and my goose to freeze during the winter, so got some heavy duty wood and stuff. So been doing that, and yeah, just hanging out at the house. Really nothing exciting.
Very cool. Yeah, no excitement here, just mainly working, but that's about it. Oh, I took the little mini pony to the retirement home, two of them
Oh
this
yeah,
week, and I'm gonna take her to another one on Monday, and so the older folks really liked the pony. Apparently they're very bored. And it was a good experience.
yeah. I haven't heard very many good things about little ponies. I know I really used to want one when I was a kid, but then I've heard all these horror
They're
stories.
usually
I'm like,
buttholes.
yeah, maybe I dodged the bullet on that one.
This one's very sweet though. I made sure to get one that had already done this type of work before, and that's why it took me a year to find her. And she worked with kids with autism, so she's used to kids running up to her, pulling her tail. She's kind of bomb-proof. So she's lazy, but that's her worst quality. She's not built for speed or exercise at all, really. She's got a big old belly on her, but she's sweeter than sweet.
Aw, that's awesome. I'm glad those old folks got her. So now they got something to do. So what have you been thinking about so far as like paranormal and stuff, like all this stuff that's been going on with these solar flares and UFO sightings and stuff like that?
Yeah, Jessica just did a blog post about that last week, and we were talking about that. Yeah, she's gonna get the link and send it to you, to her blog post about the solar
Okay.
flares. Yeah, she's really into following that for sure. But yeah, it's been wild last week with the full moon. It was extremely intense, and I will say this, like, I don't have panic attacks. I haven't in many, 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 many years. And I think, when I did, it was probably just hormonal or stress or whatever. I drank a Celsius last week, and I had a craziest, like, and I drink a lot of caffeine. It doesn't really affect me like any differently, like, at all. And it was because they wanted me to work the night shift last week, and I didn't even finish the Celsius, and I went into a full blown panic attack for like 10 hours, and I was
Oh
shaking. I had like a
no.
reaction to the Celsius. Like, it was crazy. Out of everything, that's what set me off. And it was right after the full moon, like the day after. It was last Friday, and I guess last Thursday was the full moon. And I was just, it was the worst thing ever. I've never ever experienced that. So it could have been a combination of the solar flares and the full moon and the Celsius. And I mean, because my stress levels were a little high, but not that high. Like, I don't typically, not enough to spin me into a 10-hour panic attack. Like, that is crazy. That's why I think it was actually like a reaction, probably stemmed from like the full moon. I know I've had a Celsius before at some point, and it didn't do that before. I mean, I don't drink energy drinks usually, but it was wild.
Well, that's something I read about the solar flares that I didn't know before. It's like these different things can happen to you, and anxiety, different things like that, are big. And I don't know if you know, but it's been solar flare after solar flare after solar flare. It's like every day or whatever when I look at the news, which I look at on YouTube, like different places, because I don't like just the general news. I like to see what I can find and, make something out of that. But all these different solar flares happening one after the other. And I think it was on the 10th of October. I drove up to Lake City, Colorado, and I was sitting there eating dinner with my bestie from junior high, and looked up over the mountain because this is like in a crater of mountains, and I was like, "Is that Aurora Borealis? Like, what the heck?" And ever since then, I've been keeping an eye on it, and it's just like one after the other.
I think you
And
got
the
a
kids saw
picture
it
I
too at
saw.
night.
Didn't you take
Yeah,
a picture? Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, and it was only there for like 5 minutes that I saw. Like, had I looked up before, I might have seen it longer. And the next night, she was wanting to go look at it again, but it was too late. Like, it wasn't there anymore. And they're saying like the further away from the flare or whatever, like the further out you are, the further south, the more red it is. So I think we were just on the edge of it.
Wow. That's super fascinating.
Yeah, but with your uh your breakdown or your anxiety attack or whatever, like that's a very common thing with those. It's really crazy how the sun and this crap it's flinging at us, this high accelerated speed can really affect you.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. It's different. It's different. I know I've read multiple times how it can have an effect on like people's mental health, and I mean, I see it every day. It's very, very I think it's very real. Basically, it's like, I that doesn't happen to me. Like, I again, since I was like super young, I have not had a full blown of any kind, and I do not take like any medication for that because it doesn't happen anymore at all to me ever. And then I drink part of a Celsius, and that literally set me for like 10 hours, like shaking, could not move, could not breathe. It was like, I don't know what's in that crap, first of all. Second of all, uh, I don't know how that even happened, but it was insane.
I think it was the Celsius that just like pushed you over the edge.
But I was like fine before, like, it's not like I was having any, like, I mean, no more than like just like normal. Like, I was normal. I was getting ready to go work the night shift, and so I drank one, and I was just Like, I was like, I can't do this. I can barely move. I can't even. I was like, I got in the bath and I'm like, my legs were just like, would not stop shaking. I'm like, what is going on?
Holy crap, that's scary.
It was scary. I was like, what do I do here? I don't even know how to react here. It's super, because it's not like anything really has changed in my stress levels. I've been much more, have much more going on than, then, but it just so happened to be right after the full moon. And then something in that drink, I have no idea.
That's crazy. I don't know. When I'm not saying like, you were stressed out or whatever, like for me, like things can stack up and I'll be fine because like I've lived with high stress, high pressure, things like that, like since the age of 5. So I'm pretty used to it. With us having like, psychical or paranormal abilities, etc., I think that gives you a harder shell. But like I said, it takes just that one little thing to like push you over the edge. Last time I've had that happen was my mentor gave me some Wheaties she didn't want, and I took those to Arkansas with me and had some, and yeah, I had a full-blown panic attack out there. Like, holy crap, that was crazy. But I don't know. I'm surprised that the solar flares haven't really affected me, except for I'm just continually like stressed about stuff because I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'm doing it by myself on my own or whatever. I feel like I have a lot of help going on, but I'm super glad you called in or messaged me. I was like, you guys, hold on a second. I'm going to message her back because I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you or whatever, but I'm super glad you're here.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to neglect you or the show, and if I did, it was just because I had to work. Last time I came in late. I came in like at the very last hour or something, because I'm typically off at 8. So, that's that whole ordeal. But I understand there's like a lot of changes going on right now. Like Pluto's gonna go into Aquarius, which could be really, really, I hope it's a good thing and not a bad thing, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is all about sudden abrupt change in the system, like lightning fast, unexpected things out of the blue. And I'm like, okay. Then Pluto's like transformation, death. So it's like, I don't know what that's going to be. Hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully it's a positive transformation, because, Aquarius represents a lot of humanitarian, global unification, kind of it's the hippie sign, if you will. So I'm hoping it's a positive thing.
Like the oneness, unity sort of thing. That's what I think about when I think about hippies, like the oneness and the unity and whatever.
It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, Mia.
Aquarius. The
age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Aquarius.
Jessica's over here like, whoa, girl, what are you doing? She's so
like,
cool.
What the hell? You gotta get silly sometimes. That's the only way, like, wow, for me to relieve pressure. There's other ways I could, but they're not good, healthy ways. So being weirdo is my favorite.
Very silly as of late because, like, I've had to. That's why I'm like, let's go to the nursing home with the mini pony. I don't care if my life's in shambles, my relationship is crap, but let's go. Because it just kind of reminds you how short life is too. It's like, I also think sometimes I'm like, do I want to, how old do I want to get? Like, at what point am I going to be like, no, I mean,
yeah,
I'm questioning it myself. Right. Or like, if I ever do get that, I don't want to say that old, but like, up there, you got to wonder how conscious and cognizant that you're going to be.
I know. I've always
some of
said
them are
if
super,
I don't get
super.
old. Yeah, and then Vern's like, well, it's better than the alternative, but I've never like been able to see myself as old. And then I just don't feel like I'm going to make it that long because, like, you and I, we've both been through a lot in our younger lives. And I think, even though we keep our looks young and stuff like that, it really does age us on the inside. And, I told him, if it comes to the point you got to feed me and clean my ass, then take me out to pasture and shoot me, please. Like, that would be doing me a favor because I don't want to be like that,
I'm just gonna sail out on a boat into the Bermuda Triangle and just basically OD on something probably. if life becomes that I mean, like, obviously I'd have to be super 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 old, or like
Maybe
whatever.
the aliens will take us this time. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen it, but there's been so many different sightings, and one that we saw out at your ranch has been spotted again. And I'm like, it's the mothership! And it's doing like those aqua fluorescent colors and everything.
Heck yeah.
I wish
That
you could have gotten it on video. My friend Stephanie, she's got some sort of Android. I have a stupid old iPhone, and she's sitting there like changing the filters and stuff where she can take these amazing, beautiful pictures of the sky. Like, I can't do that with my camera. It's this black screen.
Yeah, I have a mini because when I needed a phone because mine broke, it doesn't have like the third camera lens, so it doesn't take the best pictures, honestly. I should probably eventually get a new phone, but I wouldn't get one just for that. I mean, iPhones
Yeah.
have probably a short lifespan as it is, so we'll see what happens with my phone.
Yeah, I've had this one forever. But yeah, just like the camera quality is what I'm interested in because I take so many pictures and video is important to me. And man, I have to buy extra gigs and stuff just to, contain all of it because it's hard for me to keep up on it. But yeah, definitely that's been on my list since tax season before last. So yeah, this time for sure. And I've been telling myself that like every week, I'm going to get a new phone next time I get a good lump of money. Because it takes a good lump of money to get up there and be able to get a phone that actually captures stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I am exhausted today. I don't know if it's solar flares or what, but I am absolutely spent. And all I have done today is eat at work. But I made everyone green chili stew, and they seem to really like it. So that's nice.
Nice.
I'm all domestic.
I made cheeseburgers with green chili topping, and then last night I made green chili chicken enchiladas. I love green chili, especially in the winter. It's so good.
It's that time. I'm so sad though, because normally I add Durango green chili sauce into my green chili stew, and they don't have it here. I went to like 5 different grocery stores. I had my friend go too, and like literally could not find it anywhere. I've seen it somewhere, but I don't know where here, and I was surprised to see it here. And it just made me miss Colorado so much. I do miss Colorado very, very much.
We'll have to send you some recipes and stuff, because I don't use that. I know people that do use it, but I really, 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 and everybody really likes green chili. So, I'll send you what I use to make the green chili, and then what I use for my enchiladas if you make those.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I need another. I mean, it still came out good, and I still use like fresh green chilies and stuff, but it's just not the same without the Durango sauce.
So it's really hard to stay on track when I'm talking to you because you're my friend and I miss you so much and I want to talk about every random thing. But have you had anything like creepy or paranormal or anything like that you want to share with our listeners that's happened over the last month since we last talked?
Nothing super creepy. I will tell you that on a level, like I do think sometimes that panic attacks can sometimes, especially when they come out of the blue like that, be more like a spiritual thing, like a spiritual attack, if you will, or an attack on, something of the paranormal nature. I do think that that's a possibility. Nothing super creepy, thank goodness, because I can't handle it right now. I will
Right?
say
That's all you
sky,
need.
right? The sky has been very interesting here. There's a lot of weird, like, lights and reflections, and it's just been kind of strange. Um, I will say, yeah, there's been yeah, nothing too crazy paranormal that's happened to me since the last time. I'm kind of just trying to shut that down right now because it, a lot of it has to do with, being open and having your chakras open, and your crown chakra when it's open and not protected and stuff. And so I've really been working on just like not doing that, and in order to remain on I'm getting to the point where I feel like I can handle going back into that and opening up again. But I had to really just block it off for a while because it does get to be a lot. I mean, as you know. Um, and so, especially like this past year, it's just I've had so much earthly stuff to deal with, like serious earthly stuff, like determining the direction of my existence here and my livelihood. So I've kind of had to shut that portion down. But I think I'm getting the strength to kind of open back up again. And I've had some dreams. I had a very vivid dreams lately. The last one, it was like an aquarium, and that's my typical. I've always had water dreams since I was a child, and so this one was kind of cool because it was like a happy little squid in my dream, and it's always good to look at the dream dictionary and see what they represent and stuff, and it was just this happy little squid in this little aquarium that was like smiling at me. It was almost like Finding Nemo type, like not cartoon like, but the squid was. And I looked at the meaning of like squids and dreams and stuff, and part of it was true. It's about keeping the peace, which is what I feel like I've had to do for a while now, just trying to keep the peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was kind of like the representation that made the most sense to me. I'm like, yep, that is definitely a reflection of my inner state. Thank you. How about you? Any paranormal things?
Like you said, dreams have been super crazy. Also, I have to say, a lot of like shadow things. Not like straight on. Actually, I did like wake up and see one and freak out for a minute. But it was like when you're halfway in between waking up and sleep. I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but it really freaked me out. Yeah,
Wow.
mostly like ever since that first Aurora Borealis, things as far as shadow things have popped up quite a bit. But I just try to ignore them and I just try to keep going on because, like you said, like with all this different stuff happening to us in our lives, I don't know. It's hard for me to get back to the Four Corners paranormal thing. And there's people out there that need help, and I want to go help them, but they got other stuff to do too. So it's hard to make a date. But I always feel guilty because I'm like, man, ever since COVID, nothing feels the same. Like it feels like I'm freaking alienated even from my own life, and I don't even know what to do anymore. I got all the equipment. I got everything I need except for the go and do it. I don't know if it's an inner like shrillness or scaredness or whatever, or if I just don't have it in me anymore. Which I really want to go. That's like one of my favorite things to do. But at the same time, is it? Like I just don't know anymore because everything else is just like compounded on top of me. So
We're
it's
in the
hard for
same
me to
boat,
get.
sister.
Yeah. So it's got to be something we're all going through, you know?
I think it's a shift, and I think we naturally, because all animals and humans kind of adapt to, environmental adaptations. or like evolutions of things. We have natural instincts where we react to certain things that we do not see, things that we all kind of, since you and I seem to be in the same like mental space, I feel like there is a collective, and that's what we're called to do right now, because there's a lot of serious earthly movements. It's an election year, all these, not that that's, you know, the end all be all, you know, that's just here in this country, but at the same time there's a lot of serious shit happening here right now, on earth.
Well, North Korea is over in Russia right now with all their military, and I've been dreaming about warlike things for a couple years now, but I don't know, when I see that happening, it's like everything's progressing. I don't like it. I don't want things to come to pass that I know are going to come to pass. Don't want it. Don't want to do it.
I feel like we're being mentally prepared for other things right now, where that's just not what we're supposed to be focusing on or collecting our strength for. Or it's interesting, like whenever I have a day that I'm super super tired, it usually is followed by a day that's like chaotic, or I have to stay up at night, or there's something like my body knows before I actually know what's going to happen. So if you have to kind of look at it that way, that we naturally are kind of reacting or preparing to things that are in our future.
Even our dreams, seriously, like
Totally.
most of my dreams, I feel, are preparing me for the future, because generally when you dream, you're in that REM state. So you wake up and you feel restful. I wake up and feel like I only slept for 5 minutes, you know? And it's really tiring. It's really hard to do, but I think it's very important for future events.
Yeah. We don't want to say it. We don't want to address the elephant. Let's just pretend the elephant does not exist. And until we need to pull out our, you know, our stuff, our things, our stuff, our all that.
So are you at a place, or do you have everything with you where you can kind of let everybody know what to expect this coming week, or anything like that, as far as astrologically, or
Astrologically, the whole month of October is super weird. I think we are Cancer. We're moving in from Cancer, I think, to Leo and the moon phase. I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to actually look that up. I haven't been following. I've been following the larger transits, not the daily ones. But it could be why the general vibe is
even the larger one, because like I think the next time you're going to be on is next month. So if the larger one is what you know, like go ahead and share that one, because it kind of makes more sense than the coming week, right?
Well, let's see. Today, I want to know what the moon is in. So the moon, let's see.
We're kind of at the quarter.
How in the heck do I read this one? This is all crazy. So we're gonna. So the sun just went into Scorpio, so everything's kind of feeling more intense. You know, Libra is kind of just like, you know, it didn't feel like a good Libra season. Usually Libra is all lovey, the beginning of fall, and everything is just kind of magical. It didn't feel that way this time so much.
Yeah.
But let's see what the upcoming. Let's see what today's kind of. I'm curious myself. So let's see the daily overview for today. The moon is in Leo. I guess no, it's in Virgo. It's in Virgo. I missed a few days there. The sun is in Scorpio, and Virgo is my opposite, so that's probably why I'm kind of de-energized at the moment.
Right?
Yeah, I haven't been following honest too closely. It definitely feels kind of energy in the air, and kind of scatter the girl, kind of making it so it's kind of hard to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But there should be a lot of transformation this Scorpio season, because just it's also Scorpio season during the election because it's November, and that should be. I guess it is every year, but or every election year. Technically, I don't know what that means, and I don't know why. But I guess it's about transformation. The sign of Scorpio is about transformation, endings, and starting new cycles. And I mean, I guess it makes sense. But I don't know. I think maybe just leaving the country is not about that. We were talking about that. The corporation now, and I just don't like the way that it is. Anything about it.
I kind of feel like where we're at, I feel safe. If I was back east in Arkansas or whatever, like, I don't think I would. Even though, like, there are like caves and underground things, like, there's caves and stuff here too. But I don't know, I just feel safe here. Out of all the places I've lived in Washington State, Florida, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm trying to think of anywhere else I've lived. I think that's about it. Oh, Tennessee. But Colorado and Four Corners area here, like, I don't know, I just feel the best I ever have in my life, so I don't know. I feel like we're okay where we're at. And you're not too far away, so
And I
it's
don't
just
feel
to
that way.
you need to come
I
back
felt
up
that way
here.
in Colorado too. I don't feel that way here.
Yeah, this is a safe space. Oh shit, I lost her. Oh no. I guess we're talking about stuff they don't want us to talk about. That's weird. Let me message her really quick and be like, hey girl, what happened? No, but this is a safe space. And then when I saw the world map, I was like, what? If you've seen the future world map, like, you will understand. But oh man. Come back! Come back, Mia! I love her so much. Like, oh no, I'm so glad I met her, and she contacted me through my Four Corners Paranormal Investigations website, and at first I was like, I don't know, because I don't know. I'm not a very out there person. I'm like more in here, not out there, unless I'm helping people. But I'm so grateful I met her, and I hope she comes back. Well, maybe we'll take this music break early. And guess what? She is one of the artists for this music break. All right, so as we did last hour, this hour, we have one song from Jeff Hilliard, and to me, it's kind of the most vulgar song he's got. I don't know if you guys grew up with VH1, MTV, and Dr. Demento, but yeah, this one, if you watch the video, it's like a Catholic priest, but Talk That Hills by Jeff Hilliard from Los Angeles, California. Then we got Miss Mia Savage with Bottom Line, Your Skeleton, and The Mirroring Crypto. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break, hopefully with Miss Mia Savage from Antidote for Savages.
Open wide, it's the fight for your life. You'll be free if you can make it right. Make it right. Make it right. You'll be free if you can make it right. The cock that heals. The cock that heals. You want the cock that heals. You need the cock that heals. You think you're something special. You think you've got it made. Think everybody wants you. Think you can get your way. No one really cares about you. Delusions start to fade. Your intentions are rejected. You know they always hide. Open wide, it's the fight for your life. You can't get what you want. You feel the hole inside. Open wide, it's the fight for your life. You'll be free if you can make it right. Make it right. Make it right. You'll be free if you can make it right. Make it right. Make it right. Make it right. You'll be free if you can make it right.
You're nothing but an ungrateful, unworthy sinner.
You're gonna know when they're at the end of the night. What makes you think you deserve it? What makes you think you have earned it? I know you need it. Won't you kill for me? I know you want it. Won't you die for me? You got no choice, no way to refuse. The only thing that makes you feel. I gotta go, the cock that heals. I gotta go, the cock that heals.
You're desperate and pathetic. Nothing but a coward. You're a fool with nothing to offer. No one will ever believe you. They see you for what you are. You're just a fraud, a shell of a person. And now the power of the spirit of hatred, the demons that are you. They're you to the depths of the hate.
Open wide, it's the fight for your life. You can get what you want. You feel the hole inside. Open wide, it's the fight for your life. You'll be free if you can make it right. You'll be free if you can make it right. You'll be free if you can make it right.
Angel on my shoulder. Devil in my bed. Forget my behavior. Didn't mean what I said. Bottom line is I'm torn and I can't control my own reaction. I'm torn and I can't control my own destruction. Turn into I'm torn into
Just a ride. Go let's kill those big guys and try to tell us that they're supposed to let the demons run around. But it doesn't matter, because it's just a ride, and we can change it anytime we want. It's all political choice. No record, no work, no job, no savings or nothing. Just a choice right now between fear and love. Just a choice right now between fear and love.
Never wanted to say it. Never wanted to show me it's another pain like you did, but I'm never letting you know. It's not about what I've done. I don't wanna fade it anymore, but I handle it like nobody else. Won't be fooled again by your skeleton. I won't be fooled again.
Take me to your leader or leave me alone. Somebody please take me home. There is no time. There's no Do you speak my language? Not if you know. Can you read my crypto? Take me to your leader or leave me alone. Somebody please take me home. Do you speak my language? Not if you know. Can you read my crypto? Take me to your leader or leave me alone. Somebody please take me There is no time. Here.
Okay, thank you for letting me know, Mia. Damn it all.
Sorry, I just heard it, and
Yeah, that's not
didn't
the first
turn it
time I've
back
done
on
that.
yet. And I was walking around doing chores. I just got home. I ride a golf cart to work. How
It's
sweet is
my
that?
fault. I thought I checked all the boxes, but I guess I didn't. So we'll forget that story.
Oh no.
I know. Man, we need somebody to back me up, but that'll be a different time, different place. So, I think we were interrupted while you were doing your reading. So, did you want to finish that? Do you know where you left off?
I do not, honestly. I had to leave. I was at work and I had to I really was talking about I think astrology, but I haven't been keeping up with that so much right now. Like just we were saying the collective that we are in is calling us not to really do too much right now because there's so much going on in our physical reality right now that I feel like we're kind of needed to be present, there in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So yeah. There seems to be a common theme today of witchcraft though. And I was talking about this with a
Yes.
coworker, and then I put some really dark lipstick on today, and my the male nurse, the nurse today, he was like, I
Nurse.
I said I'm putting some dark lipstick on to be festive, and he's like, "Oh, are you going to be a witch?" And I thought that was strange because of your costume, and then also we got into a conversation, Jessica and I, about witches and about witchcraft in general, and how on one level it can be seen as, you know manipulating reality, but really it's kind of using physics, right? So
Right.
it's like creating a reaction through action, right? um and so also that it could be seen another way as the evil Christian version of witchcraft would be to be worshiping pagan gods, deities, things like that, right? So
Sneaker,
it's
bitch.
but what if it's both? What on the earthly plane? What if physics is like the same as like witchcraft, like the law of duality? And we were talking about like Freemasonry and how this is what I've read, so this is allegedly at the beginning they say that you have to worship a god of some kind, whatever that may be, believe in a higher power, I think they call it. But towards the end of it, they say it becomes more satanic towards the higher levels.
Can I
But
say something
what?
really quick?
Go ahead.
I just heard somebody go, breathe in, like the nasally sound. And it was neither one of us. But I just had to share that with you. It sounded
Ooh,
like a
I
mouth.
just got chills. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that
That
weird? I just had to share
I,
that with you because when you're talking, yeah, I heard it. I don't know who it is, but I just had to let you know. Okay, please continue. I'm sorry I interrupted, but I had to let you know before I forgot.
well, that was interesting. Um Anyway, I was just getting into like how Satanism is actually, well, like, like the Satanic Bible. I don't follow that obviously, but I was curious. I look at
Mhm.
everything, I'm just, the world is my oyster of knowledge and random information that probably doesn't get me
Yes.
paid, but you non-formal education information. But about how like the Satanic Bible, right, it talks about an eye for an eye, and everything else, and how Freemasonry
I thought
talks
that
about
was the actual
duality.
Bible because I've been saying that like my whole life, an eye for an eye, but then there's something after it.
Well,
Eye for an eye will make the world go blind. So turn
the
your cheek.
Satanic Bible doesn't worship Satan as a deity at all, right? So
No. Yeah.
it talks about an eye for an eye, just things like that, and basically Satanism is like the ego of worshiping oneself and ignoring any type of guilt or like hang-ups about like karma or doing wrong. It says obviously don't do wrong, but if someone wrongs you, you have the right to do the equal and opposite reaction to them, because it is your life, you are in control, and you can, it doesn't talk about worshiping an actual entity in most of it, right? And that I've read. I don't know, I obviously have never sat down and read
I
the
think
entire
there's
thing, and just the
two.
laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the laws, right? Well, there's Luciferian and then there's Satanic and stuff, like, so I don't really know the difference between that.
Okay. That's probably it.
Yeah, I think Luciferian is more worshiping like of deities, whatever, Baphomet, who knows. But so but like in Freemasonry symbolism, like there's like, okay, so there's the checkerboard, there's like the black and white checkerboard, which is about duality, like light and darkness, which is talking about like the laws of physics, which are like, and it goes into like, this ties into witchcraft, like and voodoo and things like that, like I don't know, I've never like really practiced any of that, but I've read into it, and it's just, it kind of ties in together. And supposedly, allegedly, upon reading lots of random things, the higher up in Freemasonry, in the lower levels, they tell you have to worship a god, but then the higher levels basically says that you're in control. So when they say that the higher levels become more satanic, it's not that they worship the devil, it's that they believe in the laws of like Satanism, which is like eye for an eye, positive for a negative, and Newton's third law, of motion, which is like every action creates an equal and opposite reaction, which is kind of like what,
That is
witchcraft
so weird.
is doing. No, it is weird. Is it?
Hear
No,
me
we
out.
got into this. Oh, did you hear it again?
But keep going because I don't want you to lose track. But I'm going to go back to let's fucking weird me out. Because I've lived by a lot of those things and I've never read that Bible that I know of.
Yeah, well that's what it teaches ultimately, right? And then Jessica was talking about how the what are they called, the Gnostic
Yeah.
belief is this. Okay, this is mind blowing. I'm getting chills, so I'm trying to replicate our whole conversation. So how the Gnostic belief is that Lucifer was the good guy because he went against God, right? And that God
Yeah.
but God was actually in denial about about he was trying to convince everyone that he was the only God, right? Now if you look
Oh,
at all
yeah.
the so that the God that supposedly he went against was basically the bad guy because he was trying to convince everybody that there was only one God. And then I'm like, whoa. So then you look at all these
Isn't that weird?
polytheistic. No, like at first I'm like, oh yeah, of course they would say that, and Satan's the good guy, and I'm like, but I'll listen, I'll listen, whatever. But then I got to thinking about how like the ancient Egyptians and like the Greeks and just I mean the Hinduism, they all believe in more than one God, right? Except for Muslims, but and Christians, Catholics, but if you think about it, then I got into thinking, well, does the devil actually exist, right? But then you think about the phrase like
We met him.
the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he doesn't exist, right? But then what if he exists on a level and then doesn't exist on a level too, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. My mind was just blown. We had this whole thing, and I'm like, the Gnostic thing kind of blew my mind because I'm like, what if that God was a bad guy because he was trying to manipulate everyone to thinking he was the only God? And that's something
if you
Everyone worship me.
Yeah, well, if you look at all of the polytheistic beliefs, the gods, the Greek gods and the Egyptian gods, they did some, and the Hindu gods, they all did really crazy, terrible things. I mean, there was murders and incest and curses and just all kinds of,
Yeah.
they were all they were all against each other at one point in time. It's like one big messed up reality show with every single polytheistic religion, right? Wouldn't there be a god or two or multiple gods that would try to convince that they're the humans, the peasants, that they were the only god? Anyway.
Okay. I was just waiting until you were done. But, so I see where you're going. And, okay, so there's the fact that after my mom died, I really didn't ever go to church, but I was seeking out God. Like, I knew there was something more. I'd always look up to the sky, and my mom would paint me beautiful sunsets or sunrises because my sleep schedule was super fucked because of my dad and other things happening with that. And there's so many things I witnessed even after that. Like, my dad moved us from Fayetteville, Arkansas to Miami, Florida. And then from there, my dad sent us to Arkansas to visit our grandparents and then never sent for us again. So I was sleeping in my mom's room. My brother was sleeping in the other room where the boys used to sleep. And I swear to God, sister, I did meet the devil. He was the most beautiful man I had ever laid eyes on. I didn't say nothing to him. I saw him. I knew immediately who he was. I was only 5, almost 6 years old at the time. Maybe I was 6. And I used to have nightmares a lot when I was a kid, retracting. And my dad would say, okay, everything's going to be okay. Just go back to sleep. And all you got to say is, God stands before me, Satan fall behind. So I used to say that all the time when I had nightmares, and it did work. So I didn't say it out loud. I said it in my head. I said, God stands before me, Satan fall behind, because I was too scared to move my lips and use my voice box. Like that. I was out. I was asleep. 2 nights later, I believe it was. It's like in between sleep and awake, laying in my bed. Actually, I was awake for this part, now that I think of it. Okay, so I've always had sleep issues because of my nightmares and stuff, and losing my mom, etc. And I'm sleeping in my mom's room. I see this light flickering through the window, like fire. So you can see it like on the window, not on the window, but on the wall, across from the window. It's just like jumping around, stuff like that. Then all of a sudden I start seeing like shadows going through it. And then all of a sudden I start hearing chanting. I don't know what the heck they were saying. I'm glad I didn't listen closely, but I could hear them chanting, and they're using, once I looked, they're using different things. Like some of them had spears, some of them had drums, some of them had daggers, and they were these little, I want to call them cobalt guys, because that's what I heard from a lady that I met when I was like 20 years old, or 21. Yeah, 21. And she was talking about her cousin saw them and they were kobolds, but they're not. I looked it up on the internet. These are little like goblin dudes. And they're like sitting there dancing around the fire, chanting and stuff. And all of a sudden, they boom, like the drums, the sticks, everything, boom, all at once. And they turn and look at me. You know what I did? And I tell my kids this too. I'm like, I set myself back in the bed, hold my blankets up, like, that is my shield of security. And lo and behold, it actually worked. If you have faith in it, it will work. So I did, like, I have it up here so I can see what's going on, but I can still breathe under the sheet, and I'm just like, and I can see the shadows getting closer and closer, and then you can hear them, like, scratching up the wall, and then you can see their little heads and pokey ears looking through the window. They didn't see anything. So they're like, let's go to the next room. Next room was my little brother's room. And I feel really bad about that because they chased him, and I'm pretty sure I told you the story before, but yeah, I I saw the devil. I met him, and I did not have any conversation with him. My mom did. And come to find out from my older siblings, because when my mom passed, I was only 5, almost 6. They found one of her Wiccan, aka whatever, things that have spells and stuff in it when they were reading from them. And so they feel guilty, like they were the ones that caused her to die. I think that's true. I think she made her own bed. Satan came from her. We not only saw her or him in front of us, like my sister, who was riding with my mom, saw him standing next to a limousine in his nice freaking tuxedo, waiting for her to like pop into that car, and or that car to pop into her is what actually happened. And then he took her, like their agreement was. And ever since that happened, like they took her to, I believe it was Oklahoma City. No, it was Tulsa, Oklahoma. So they took her to that hospital, and her body was there. She wasn't. I think he took her at that moment because that was the agreement. And it's so messed up that my sister saw that, and her description of that guy was the same as my description. And that's what scares the crap out of me. Like, what? You know, when we both see the same thing, different times, to me, that makes it real.
That totally makes sense. And I actually, when we were having this conversation earlier about the devil, that story came into my head, and I didn't get to discuss that with Jessica, but it was kind of funny because we're at work, right? And I'm not going to go off. I'm obviously all over the place because I'm exhausted, but it's nighttime, so my serotonin
sorry.
spikes. No, it's okay. It's just I'm not able to. I'm squirreling all over the place, but but that, well, just in short, yes, that story did come to mind when we were having this conversation about how you've actually seen him, in, not in the flesh, but in the, whatever he's made out of, in the fire. I don't know. But
I'm like, if you already heard it, you should have told me. Like, bitch, shut up. I already heard that. Just kidding.
yeah. So I did think of that because I have not had that experience. I've only seen the tendencies of what I call the devil. What I call the devil is just here on earth, it's tendencies of just either coldness, cruelty, or just complete lack of empathy, or things that are, intentional evil is kind of, or like lack of emotional, empathy is. And so I've had songs that I've written, and that's exactly what I kind of speak of in that when I'm talking about. I'm not talking about I'm talking about a manifestation, but not an actual physical manifestation of the devil. I have not experienced that, but I never will discredit that either. Like I think anything is possible, and I think almost sometimes in spirituality, I almost think that it's very possible that all of these things can be existing and correlating within at once. Yes, like levels, and
They're just
like levels
all over each
as
other.
within.
Hey,
Yes,
can you find
because
some
it's all
room
within us.
already? Just kidding.
It's all within us. We have the ability to create whatever we want. It's but we have to start, creating what we want from within, right? Like we have to become and embody what it is we want and show God, the universe, whatever, what it is that we want by embodying that. Not just physically, like, they not like fake it till you make it. There is some truth to that, but it's not just like physically. It's like you have to kind of become that. That's why positive affirmations and things work,
Yeah.
because it's within. So so in short, like, it is kind of what you believe or what level, but because that is your flesh and blood, you that we cannot choose our flesh and blood. whether that be family curses. I do believe in that 100%.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if you could? But you really can't.
I believe that trauma can be in your literal DNA coded.
Yes, it
Passed
is.
down from generation to generation. But I do believe that there are things that, it doesn't mean that you're cursed and doomed. It means that you have no choice but to evolve. Otherwise, you're going to fall victim to the same pattern as your ancestors in some way, shape, or form. But we have a lot of ancestors, especially
You have to break the cycle. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I think it can be true for positive things as well. And I have heard, and I've always wondered this. Someone told me this. I don't remember who it was. I think it was a psychic that I knew way back when. She had told me that she had seen that people who were soldiers would oftentimes repeat the same life, even sometimes the same cycle of
I
dying.
hate that. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty crazy, right?
So maybe like next time they'll make a different choice instead of making the same choice over and over again. It's like a nightmare to me.
Exactly,
maybe
but
that's
also
what it
think about the
takes
karma.
to go
Maybe
through
some
it,
days you win the war and some lives you lose the war. I don't know. I don't know if that's true,
right?
but that's just what a psychic had told me, and I've always wondered that, like, or even if it's not necessarily. That's why there's a lot of like genetic um generational people who join the military, because you have like one and then another one and another one. I've always questioned that myself, just like, I wonder if that's true, or if it's a reincarnation thing, or if it's just you have to go through that life as that for that reason, for some reason. I'm not sure, but anyway, what I was trying to say though is like, it's possible that on one level with the devil, we went so far out into outer space. My girl Jessica, she's a Pisces like me, and we just beat off each other, and we went so far in the rabbit hole that we're like, what if the devil exists and doesn't at the same time? Like, what?
Yeah, and I was talking about you earlier, even before you came on. It's like, I don't know, the way we met and everything. And I'm so grateful that we did, because without you, I don't know where I'd be right now. I've
I
never
was
met
guided
somebody
to.
like you. You've probably met somebody like me or Jessica. No, we've met each other for a reason. And it's like, but like, seriously, we met each other for a reason. Me, you, Jessica. There's something happening. And I'm super grateful.
Oh, totally. Totally. I've been meeting a lot of people that are on this same wavelength, which more than usual. Like, you were the only person, and I mean, we've known each other for a while now, 7, 8 years now.
Mhm.
And you were like the only person that I had met that I can relate to on all of this and talk to about this stuff. And then other people through the show, obviously, and occasionally here and there, maybe like once or twice a year. But lately I've been more and more drawing in. I don't know if I'm drawing them in, or if I'm being drawn to, being pulled in by someone else, to people with similar, you know, I don't know if more people are opening up. I don't want to say waking up, but opening up to, the other things that are beyond, whether it's their
I feel like
potential,
things
their
are speeding up
purpose.
to the point where you're meeting more and more and more and more people that are in your wavelength, if you're lucky enough to. And it's just like, at first it was like
I
this,
have been.
and then it goes like this, and now it's going like this. And yeah, it's just going to get faster and faster. That's how I feel.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know. Sounds crazy to
Absolutely love
me.
it. I mean, and it's crazy with Jessica, because it's like I don't even know how we got onto the subject. This is even crazier. So Jessica's
It's
the
meant
one
to
that
be
she opened
me.
up first. I only work with her for a couple hours a week, but she opened up first and somehow got started talking about solar flares like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, whoa, you're into that. And then she's like, yeah, I have a blog, you should check out her stuff. She does a lot of stuff, like, but she's also a nurse, so she
Yeah,
talks
I
about
do.
mental
Send
health.
me the links for sure.
Oh yeah, it's her YouTube channel, the one that she should have waved or commented on YouTube on this live. And shout out Jessica. I don't know the name of it right offhand, but you can find it. And she has a blog and a YouTube channel. She does meditation videos and stuff, like sleep meditation, sleeping music and stuff. She does all kinds of cool
That's what
stuff.
I need. Because I've been listening to Let's Read and Beneath the Layer and different things like that. Like, it's always ghost stories and stuff like that. Jessica. Okay, there she is. Okay, now I see her.
Yes.
Hide that. So yeah, I will definitely find her for sure. Because,
but it's so
like you
odd.
said, it just happened.
Yeah, it's so odd. And then, there's a guy that works at the drugstore right up the road. There's nothing but a drugstore here within 10, 15 miles, 12 miles. And so it's crazy that the manager there just so happens to be into ghost hunting. And like he's making a device. He's the one I sent you. He's making a ghost box.
Yes, I'm sorry. Like I said, I've been so busy on shit, and I keep looking at the message, and I'm like, I feel like shit because I haven't done it. I'm like, it's there. I need to take care of it. I can't right now. I need to take care of my goose. My goose is freezing.
Oh yeah, welcome to the farm life.
Farm
animal life.
Yeah, it's true. I had to help her out of the corner of the porch, but she was out there. She's like, and I thought she was reacting to all of us just making noise. She went over to where the car seat is, where one of the chickens likes to lay her eggs in the car seat. And she went up into the upper corner of that and was stuck. She didn't know how the fuck to get out. And I saw her there earlier, and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I've never seen you there before. And then when my two oldest daughters came to get my two youngest kids, I had to rescue her because she was actually stuck. I was like, I'm sorry, Gazi Gosborn. I didn't know you were stuck. Shit. I'm like, please don't bite me when I try to move you. And she didn't. She was like, oh, thank you. Because she'd probably been there for hours. Like, hey, is anybody going to help me?
That's super sweet. I'm glad she didn't try to bite you.
No, I'm glad too, because I'm like, I'm just trying to help you. Please don't bite me. But yeah, that was not a part of what I want to say about it.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. And just so you know, we're not on the e-talk thing anymore. We were only there for 2 hours, so we're just doing our own thing right now.
Floating in the ethers? I like it.
The ethers?
I said floating away in the ethers. I like it.
Oh yeah, let's go. Down the road, lead your tongue. I don't know. Things have been weird. I've been having weird dreams. Me too. I used to play it every night, all the time when I do a show. Then I'm like, okay, it's weird. Why do you keep playing that song? But it just hits me in a certain way that it's very important. I don't know if he knew what he was doing, Mr. David Bowie, but salute you.
I like the original. It's really
The original? There's an actual different than what I've been listening to?
Wait. Actually, that's part 2. I don't know. It's
Look at it later and let me know.
I could be wrong.
What?
I think, yeah, no, I could
That's
be wrong.
one of my favorite things.
Scratch that. Scratch that.
Okay.
Scratch that.
See what I did to myself earlier? I fucking burnt myself with bacon grease. You see that right there? I was taking the bacon out of the oven.
Oh no, that's serious, girl. Get some aloe on that pronto.
Well, I don't have no aloe, but I stuck it under cold water on and off for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I made pancakes, eggs, bacon was the last thing. I sloshed it on me. I dropped it on the floor, went immediately to cold water, and I don't know. At least I'm not blistering. At least it's just red, but that's bad.
Yeah, that's kind of intense.
I wonder if it affected like my veins that are in there and stuff. I was thinking about that, like, would all the blood coagulate in there? And it definitely looks older than my other wrist. I can never do anything right. That's how I feel. Bring it! Sorry.
I'm gonna eat out here like a civilized person instead of in bed. I am actually so exhausted. Extremely exhausted. So eventually I will have to retire, but not right this second, obviously. I'm gonna need to wind down a little bit.
From?
What'd you say?
What are... Is it you or something else? What are they going to retire from? What are you going to retire from?
Wait, what?
I don't know. Never mind. I thought you said
so
something
lost.
about retiring from something.
Oh, I just said I'm
Never mind.
exhausted, and eventually I will have to retire. But at this moment, I am having to wind down from work. I think I said I was very tired all day at work. Pretty sure that's what I said.
I feel like that a lot. And I take like a lot of different vitamins like magnesium and zinc, plus regular vitamins. And then in the morning, I take a regular vitamin that's from Bucked Up. And then recently I started one that's for like metabolic shit. So your metabolism. So it's supposed to help your metabolism because I feel like for a long time, my metabolism has been messed up. So I've been taking that for like 3 days and I actually feel it. Like, just keep going. And don't feel tired and keep going and doing stuff while other people are just laying on the couch or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I'm just wondering, like, is there going to be some side effects to this or something? I hope not. I just want to be okay and be happy, and I don't know, that's where I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I can't continue to do the things that I've been doing because I want to be happy. And if I continue to do the things I'm doing, I cannot be happy. So I need to kill it, and for me to do that, it's really going to break my heart. Really. And holy. Because I really don't want to do that, but I've tried for over 20 years for this shit to work. It ain't working. So I gotta do something else.
Girl. Just know I'm here. And I'm with you
Thank you.
And you gotta do what makes you happy. And I'm in the same boat right now where it's like I put myself last for a really long time. And it's taken a lot to like
because we serve.
prioritize.
We're serving. We serve people.
And I just learned how to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm sorry I interrupted, but like you said, like, we need to quit being like, oh, it's all about you. I'm going to take care of you. We need to take care of ourselves and our kids or our chickens or whatever the fuck we have that depends on us. We'll take care of that shit. But if it's another person, we should not be in a relationship where, oh, you complete me. We should be in a relationship where, oh, we complement each other. That means we work together really, really good. Yeah. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. And I don't know, I've been working on this forever, and it just kills me because I'm like, my heart is so indentured, and I'm at a certain point where I feel like I can do this, blah, 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 but I can't. If it's been over 20 years, ain't no fucking way I'm going to change it. This is a lifelong freaking thing that this person is going through, and there's no way I can fix it at all. So I'm just going to have to
You can. It's just gonna take a lot. It's not gonna happen overnight, and I'm right there with you on that. It's like I have built too much of my world around a person, or basically within their life, that it's codependency is what it is. It's unhealthy attachment, codependency.
Well, and yeah, we went through
Whether it
certain
was
things.
intentional or gradual or whatever, that's what it is, and it's hard to detach when you're so attached.
But like for me, okay, so I was 5, almost 6. My mom was killed by a drunk driver. My dad, who before was a party animal, like pot smoker and rule breaker, etc., and drinker, he wasn't allowed to go to the army. Had to do something else, so he went into videography. Once my mom died, we were sitting with him, and he's like, he didn't know what the hell to do. And so we went with him, and he was there like during the day sometimes, but mostly he was at work, and it was my job to take care of my little brother, even though there was 5 of us. 3 of us went with their parents. Me and my little brother went with our dad. And that was just crazy, but I'm trying to think of where I'm going with this, but it takes a lot to go through that stuff. You grow up too fast. You don't want to. And the outlook on life, like, I don't know, like I never felt sorry for myself. I was just like, I got this. I can do it. And I did. And everything seemed to work out. But then later on, like, you do miss your parents. I miss my dad. I used to daydream out the window and stuff like that. But people go through different things. And I told my dad later on, he's like, telling me all this shit, and he's like, I just want you to forgive me. And I'm like, Dad, I forgave you a long time ago. Like, me as an adult went through way less than you did and took it way worse. So kudos to you. Don't feel bad. I forgive you. Everything's okay. So that was good. But my brother, on the other hand, had to blame everyone else. And guess what? To this day, he still does. And guess what? He's still drug addicted and homeless and stuff like that. And I really hate it because I love him. He was a really good person. And I do blame the goblins. Had it not been for the goblins, I think he would have had a better life. But Satan's got to corrupt somebody. Lucky that it wasn't me, but I feel bad that it was my little brother because I used to fight my brother's like friends or ex-friends or guys that try to beat up my brother. I used to fight them for him. I couldn't fight them. I couldn't fight Satan or goblins for him. How the fuck would I do that? I don't even know. But I feel bad for that. I wish I could have. To the point where, like, he used to, after that, run through the house. So out his room, into the living room, back through the baking room, into the kitchen. So there's a door right there where there's a step down. There's a cold room. You go back up. There's the door. There's the kitchen. There's a little step like this. Then you go into the baking room where the heater and stuff is. Through the living room, through the baking room, through the kitchen, back. Right there in the entrance of the baking room, he would always trip and fall. And then he'd run back through the living room, past my room, through the baking room, through the kitchen, back and back and back. I have to tell you this because it kind of trips me out, and I'm trying to wonder, did this really happen, or am I tripped out? So, eventually, he did the same thing, the same course. He always went out his room, past my room, in the living room, through the baking room, through the kitchen, like that. My grandparents came out. They caught him, both of them, their arms under his arm. So his arm was locked under each of their arms, and they just held him like that. Why the fuck would they do that unless they knew what was happening? Like, wouldn't you just hold him and be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay? No, they both held him from each arm like this, and he's trying to scramble away. He can't get away, and then all of a sudden he just collapses. Why? Because these fucking goblins, aka Satan, captured him. Guess what? After that, he never had any bad dreams. He never ran through the house anymore. He never had any of that shit. He just had the worst luck in the world. Period. And he's a good guy, but he just can't keep the bad stuff off of him. I don't know how to explain it. I feel really bad and guilty for him. Like, I could have done something to stop it, but I don't think I really could have. I tried. I used to chase him and try to do something. Well, once I saw my grandparents do that, and then he stopped, like, what else am I supposed to do? To me, that was mind-blowing, and at the same time, lowered my confidence in my family. I'm like, really? No. I feel bad for him. I still do today. That's why, like, all this work I did for Bonds Automotive and stuff, I'm like trying to get him a trailer to live in, but I've already given him stuff to live in. He always pawns it off for something else, but I'm hoping he's in an age where he'll take it and use it like he should. That's all I can do is try to take care of him because he's my little brother, and that's what I've done since I can remember. Just take care of him. Kick guys' asses, do different things like that.
I love that for you. Sometimes guys need their asses kicked.
Yeah, dude. I even told my kids, I'm like, I used to kick guys' ass for my little brother. And you're sitting there like, huh?
That's cute. I would do the same thing probably if I had a little brother, because I've actually never been in a fight with a girl, but I've fought men before for doing stupid things. Which is kind of funny, but
Yeah, it's not like I planned it, but yeah, I did fight guys for my brother. And like you said, not really girls. Like, we'd have arguments and stuff. It wasn't until junior high school. I was like, oh, I forgot my homework in my locker. So I went out there, and there was Travis Williard, who was a Ute, and Tasha Posey. And they're both just walking together because they're like the bench press people of the world. We bench press more than everybody else, and they're just walking down the hallway. Maybe they just got out of gym class and sitting there trying to get my homework out of my locker because I forgot it. Just like my kids are like, I forgot it. I'm like, you do this repeatedly. I remember doing it once, but I probably did it more. But they came up and laughed at me, and then Tasha like pushed me into my locker, and this locker was like this big, not really big. And so I turn around, I'm like, you better quit before I do something. And she's like, and then pushed me in again. And then I got up and like I tried to beat her ass, but it's like a gnat trying to beat up a wolf or something. She punched me like she dislocated my jaw in junior high school. Like, I was like, stay with me. And like I was beating her like this, and then she's like, pow. Dislocated my jaw. Yeah, I've had like popping in my jaw ever since, but I was so scared because I had to go to the office, and they're like, well, we know like what you were doing is what you had to do, yada yada, and she's gonna be suspended and blah blah blah, and it still doesn't make it okay, but at the same time, I'm glad I wasn't in trouble because I never had to go to the office, so that scared the shit out of me. But yeah, that was one of the really, really, real scary stuffs of my life. That was actual, factual, scary stuff. She even outlifted the guys. Like, I don't know. She was a big old lady. Seriously, as far as her strength and stuff. I wonder what she's doing today. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to look her up and be like, hey, Tasha, what you doing? And talk to her about that and where her mindset was and what she was going through with her family. Maybe that had a lot to do with what she was going through,
Usually it does. It's funny because like a lot of
you know, psychologists and psychiatrists know that when there's something wrong with a kid, it's generally the parents. It's not a defected child. It's a defected, you know,
Got stuff
parental.
going on in the family.
Hmm.
And that's what I've said for years. Like, okay, so Kenzie's 24, Nova's 20, almost 21. They were bullied too. I'm like, it's not just the kid. It goes back to the family. And that's where I feel like if this happens, you need to go back to the parents and prosecute them, not the kids. Because it's not the kids' fault. They were
They
raised
tried
this
to
way.
diagnose me with
Yes.
bipolar disorder and anxiety and
What?
depression and ADD when I was 13, 12 years old. And the messed up part about that is, okay, as an adult, bipolar disorder is not something that goes away. Okay,
No.
it can be treated with medication, but it is not something that goes away. The fact that they tried to diagnose me with that is comical. I could go to any freaking psychiatrist, psychologist, anybody, and 100% they would not diagnose. Like, I have absolutely zero symptoms of bipolar disorder. It's because of my environment that they diagnosed me with these things. That, and also
And
they got commissions for dispensing medication, and it's messed up. And
locked in
so,
with the pharmaceutical company.
but
Bad
to take
stuff.
advantage of children and to medicate the kids when obviously it was, an issue within without my not my control, but it was an environmental thing. Maybe things were a little unstable. Maybe I was reacting unstable because there were unstable people around me, or I was in an unstable environment. But it's so funny. Even back then, I knew I wasn't bipolar. So the fact that one doctor, I mean, it was just one, obviously, because I don't
I
know
say
what
that
the hell
too.
they
I
were
know you. You're
smoking.
not freaking bipolar.
Could it be
Yeah.
that maybe I've been through some shit? The fact that, and how can someone have ADD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder, you know, all in. And I think one time they
See me
said they
being
called
like
me
ADD
schizophrenic,
or ADHD.
and I'm
Mhm.
like,
Okay,
I'm
I
not.
got that
And
too. Like when I was leaving the military,
so
they're like,
you're telling me at 12, 13 years old, I have every mental disorder known to man, including schizophrenia. You've got to be out of your fucking mind. And you're putting me on 10 not just me, my
especially when
entire
I
generation. My entire generation. 90% of the people in that rehab, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. 90% of the people in that rehab are within 3 to 4 years age difference than me, because they all went through the same thing. Only they ended up because they were put on these freaking meds that they didn't need before they were able to even make decisions with these
exactly.
diagnoses that were fucking wrong all the way until adulthood, you know. It's messed up. It's a
And that
generational thing. Like, they use I come from the lab rat pharmaceutical generation, and a lot of people had lingering addiction problems because of that. Thank God I didn't continue taking the meds very long, because I knew when I was a kid. I'm like, did they seriously diagnose me with bipolar disorder? I would go to school. Okay, no shit. I would go to school, and three of my friends, okay, the few friends that I had that were girls, they were all diagnosed with bipolar. How are there so many? It's not that common of a diagnosis. I've only met a few bipolar
pharmaceutical
people in my
company,
entire life.
hey, we'll give you this amount of money if you put these people on this. So like, oh, you
Yeah,
put them here. Pay.
you're telling me all
Fuck
of my
yourself.
friends are bipolar?
Oh
I
wow.
mean,
That's convenient.
I mean, birds of a feather, yeah, but seriously, you know,
Not like that.
like, what the flippin' fuck?
Boy.
Like, seriously.
It's bad. It's ridiculous. And people nowadays are woke, and I hate using that, but people are waking up and they're like, "Look what the pharmaceutical company's been doing. Look at what the Democrats and Republicans and fucking the governors, everybody's fucking doing." It's not for the greater good of us. It's for their fucking wallets and their livelihood and different shit like that. Like, I used to believe in Governor Polis, but then once I saw the last thing he fucking did, I'm like, yeah, you and your cute little dog can go fuck yourself, because no, this is not okay. It's redonkulous. And like you said, like, okay, so luckily for me, when I was in the military and I was going through some shit, they're like, okay, you're borderline paranoid schizophrenic. I don't think it was that. I think it was just stress, because my brother just almost got stabbed to death and my dad's dying from uh, basically liver failure.
Exactly.
Like, what? Yeah.
Look at what was going on in your life, okay? Like,
Yeah.
the actual
Exactly.
disorders are not things that come and go, okay?
That's
These,
what's
like,
happening.
schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. But think about the time frame you were in the military, and I can almost guarantee that's when they tried to diagnose me and literally every person I know that was, under the age of 15 with freaking mental disorders, like, that they did not have, clearly. That it'd be almost impossible for every single one of my friends. All of my friends are bipolar. All of my friends, every single one. That doesn't make sense. Oh, and look, we're all on the same 3 to 5 medications. What the hell?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are all this. Really? No, this does not make sense unless we're like family or something. But we're a lot of different people together, and you're saying, oh, this is that, blah, blah, blah. It's pharmaceutical shit. If you claim somebody to be something and they throw that at you, then they make that money. They're just like, making all this money, man. Wow, good for you. That's amazing. In the meantime, we're being mind fucked and not able to learn what exactly our lives are until we realize what we're doing, what our lives are, once we reach adulthood, to a point where now I get what's going on. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking shit right now, but seriously, like, that's how I feel. Like, they try to put the shade over your eyes until you actually like peek out and see what the hell's going on. Hello? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm brushing my teeth. Hold on.
Well, if you want to, you can set us up with a quick music break really quick, because it's just to get pee too, but otherwise, we can just say goodnight and go. Like, I know I have much more to talk to you about, but we also have tomorrow night if you want to come on. So yeah, let me know what you want to do, and we'll do that.
Okay.
You willing to come back tomorrow night?
Yeah, I can probably come on tomorrow night. I work until 8 o'clock, but I might be able
Okay.
to come on for like 1 hour before I get off, or like 20 minutes before I get off, or something. Because everyone goes to sleep anyway, and there really isn't too much of. Oh, I didn't do the friggin'. Okay, maybe I lied, but but it's
I
okay.
can do the first hour or two, and then you can come on whatever you need, and that'd be cool. But yeah, I'm super grateful that you contacted me, and I was just like, oh my god, because I felt bad. I'm like, man, I'm waiting last minute again because I have so much shit on my back I can't even think. And I was like, I'm not gonna contact Mia because I know you're going through shit. I'm not gonna contact James, aka Jim Sims,
No. You
because
can
I know
always
he's going through shit.
You can always
And then you
contact
reach
me.
out to me, and I'm like,
Okay, so
girl,
let's
okay.
talk about the 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 what is it? Newton's third law of motion. Okay. Every time I'm going through some bullshit, some really cool, amazing shit's happening at the same time. I don't know if or soon after. If not exactly parallel at the same time, soon after. Right now, I happen to be in a transitional period where I have some super intense, heartbreaking shit that's going on, but I also am
I'm
meeting people
sorry.
like Jessica. Oh no, it's okay. It's honestly, it's okay. I'm gonna work through it. I also have some amazing connections and people in my life right now that are forming and amazing things that are going for me. Like I have a pony I'm taking to
I'm always here
nursing
for you,
and stuff.
sister.
Like it's amazing. But that's the funny thing. It's just like with social media, which I'm not a huge social media poster other than affirmations and stuff.
Mhm.
Because why? And
Yeah.
just especially within this last year, I'm not really social that type. I'm
I
not
mean, too,
social
I'm
media.
like daily thoughts, and I'm gone. If I even do daily thoughts, and that's it.
Yeah, same. I'm like I'm not super. I'm kind of very impersonal when it comes to posting, unless I get some really cool pictures or travel or something. But the thing is it's like on social media, people have these personalities, but usually what you see is there's something equal and opposite as negative that they either have gone through recently or before prior to in their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. It's like I have these amazing things going that from the outside look really really good, but I also have some really painful, dark, stressful, high responsibility. I have a lot. You know what I'm
I'm here
exactly.
for all of it. I'm here for
Yeah.
all of it, sister.
So it's like, and I believe that's true for probably everyone. You may think one thing because you only see one part, and but if unless you don't know what else is going on, you never know.
Yep.
So I understand that too. So think about all the positive things that are in your life and be grateful for those. And I'm definitely there right now where I'm focusing on the positive things that are going for me. Like,
Yeah.
like you and people in my life that
That's what I was about to say.
yeah, that I just
You are
appreciate.
one of my most important positive things.
Same. And your beautiful goose that I'm jealous because I tried the goose adventure and the goose life wasn't for me, or that goose was not for me. And
I had to
it's
save her from the corner of the porch. She made her way over a car seat and into the corner, and she's like, "Hey, Kaka!" And I thought, she was just playing around until 3 hours later came out. She's still in the same place. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, Gauzy, please don't bite me. Her name is Gauzy Gosborn, like Ozzy Osbourne. But I grabbed her and I moved her, and she was cool. She didn't bite me or nothing. She was free. I was like, I'm sorry, Gauzy. I didn't mean for you to be like that.
yeah.
Sorry.
So focus on Ghazi and focus on the positive things in your existence. If even if parts of your life are falling apart, which you know, parts,
When
relationships,
the walls
looming darkness,
crumbling down.
all that stuff.
I know, it's hard. It seems like everything is coming down, but there are little hints of positivity.
Yeah,
Gauzy, my
focus on those
chickens,
little
my kids.
glimpses of light. Focus on the
Yes.
little fireflies. I'm gonna call them little energetic fireflies in your life. Right now, I have like a whole polarized thing. I have like a whole shitload of really positive things in my life, but I have just as much whole shitload of very, very dark bullshit, stressful,
Mm.
pressing, you know, things in my life. I have an equal it's that's equilibrium, but that's duality. And I think that's the lesson that I'm learning right now as a human in this life journey process because I obviously have been talking about it all day with, and just for every positive there's negative, it's equal and opposite.
Yes.
But right now I'm
You
living
know, when
both
you were
of them
saying
right
that,
now.
we have to talk about this tomorrow night because I'm about to pee my pants. I need to go to the bathroom. But when you and Jessica and you were telling me everything you're talking about, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I've said these things. I've never read that Bible. I got this from the Bible or other people that were very, very intelligent, etc. Like, what? It totally blew my mind that you said that. I'm like, these are all the things that I take to heart that I've learned. I acknowledge, I believe. This is how I live my life. This is true. But yeah, to me, that's badass. Can you tell our listeners, like, how and where to find you if they need to reach out to you?
Sure, my individual Instagram and Facebook My first name is spelled Mea, Mia, last name Savage. So Mia Savage. I think on Instagram, I think it's Mia_Savage. I just made it public again because I had another account that I was messing with that wasn't mine and blah blah blah. But it's back to public, and then also my music project, which I've been neglecting greatly, but will come back to as soon as I'm in a space where I can do that. Is Antidote for
Amazing.
Savages, and for is spelled FOR, not the number. So Antidote for Savages, all platforms, Instagram. If you see the little icon with the masquerade mask, that be me.
Yes, I have one here too. Ooh. And this I used like years ago.
Ooh, I like you.
Mine's not as pretty as yours. I've seen yours and they're very fancy
I have
schmancy. But
two very one of a kind masks that you cannot find. There's other ones with feathers on them. They call that the
yeah.
They call it the Columbia mask, and there's a story
Mhm.
about the one Columbina, I think Columbina, because there was an actress that used to wear that mask during what is it called? Not Mardi Gras, the one in
No, I
Venice.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the festival in Colombia in Brazil.
No, not
Man, I
in
can't think of
Brazil.
the
Not in
name.
Brazil. No, it's in Italy. It's the
Okay.
Venice Festival. Fuck, I can't think her. But anyway, so she was an actress, and that was the mask. She liked the feathers, so that's kind of where that originated from, and it got
It's
popular
so
around
pretty.
the world. Eyes Wide Shut, when that's the one who got killed
Yes.
by the Illuminati for basically saving a stranger, which I thought is just like the most sacrificial, you know, almost saint-like quality, that she protected Tom Cruise, a man she didn't even know, from death, and
I'm
gave him that,
sorry.
even
Man,
though
I want to talk forever, but I have to go on break or go because I gotta
okay,
go.
all right, I'm gonna go to sleep, so
All right. I love you, sister, and I'm so glad you contacted me and we got to talk and stuff. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow if you're up for it.
yes ma'am, I will let you know.
All right. Good
All right,
night. Love and light. I'll see you tomorrow.
toodaloo.
Toodaloo.